for environment, culture and sustainable development. A very warm welcome with us in Brussels here, Professor. We are indeed looking for best practices to change behavior, to incentivize people. I understand you have a long track record with a large number of live projects, so I would like to pick your brain and tap into that vault of experience to learn from you how we can incentivize behavioral change.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for inviting me, and also I'm delighted to be here and listen the previous speakers. I decided not to present any slides because in many of my slides I could have, simply copied similar initiatives. So I would like to focus a little bit more on the concepts. And chairing the Mediterranean Information Office for Environment, Culture and Sustainable Development, from the name itself, you can understand that we approach in an integrated way the natural and cultural environment and sustainable development. So we are very close to the concept of Bauhaus, the new Bauhaus. And actually, the original idea of Bauhaus is to bring quality to a mass production. That was the initial idea. And I think is very important today, again. So how we can bring with us bigger number of people, companies, and communities, I think the most important is to give hope. And here I want to use what Antoine said in the previous session. Our our analysis, particularly today, is pessimistic in most cases. And the issue is how, from this analysis, we conduct policies in a positive way, because it is absolutely necessary. And this is through stories, and our stories is showing how we can have a better world. This is a projection of a faith for something better. Yes. And this is the way in which we managed to bring the 133 organizations we have, among them big federations, like the EEB in Brussels, the European Environment Bureau, or the Arab Network for Environment Development, among our founders 30 years ago, with different organizations having different methodologies, different motives, and see what kind of incentives we have for that. First of all, when we are talking about incentives, we have to understand that they are not the same for individuals, for groups, for companies, or for politicians. And they are different, and we have to be more sophisticated in doing that. Let me, because one of the questions is stick or carrot. I think that this is good for companies, for groups that share material benefits, but not for individuals. For individuals, you may use it for pets, but not for children, because we should not actually particularly mix up something that we try to build through ethical, through ethos, and through principles with gains, particularly gains of material nature. We should not actually give few cents for a bottle that is brought back to the supermarket. because we want to have other principles there, responsibility, citizenship, and you mix the two. So we are talking about discipline and award, but not stick and carrot, not candy, not the sweet you mentioned, not the ice cream. It is a different thing. We need to keep it clear because we want to elevate the willingness to be, and pride, to be somebody recognized by the society, not to get a little bit something back, particularly few cents. Otherwise, we encourage people to look even for small material benefits.
So you're saying, Professor, by offering ice cream, we're almost poisoning the very process that should appeal to citizenship.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have to, and even when we have to get something back to the society, we have to have it as sharing the benefit. Yeah. If a company makes more money by getting ready the recyclable, this enhances, increases the benefit, yes, their benefit. And sharing it is a different thing. It's not an award. So we have to play with principles. We have to go deeper in principles and get also rid of the tyranny of the vision. We have to concentrate in abstract thinking, and in this way, we can really help individuals and also groups and hopefully politicians. Market incentives are extremely important for business. And the same is for, let's say, trying to present ideas that are sometimes difficult to present. For example, the tools we are using are all the tools of sustainable development. Sustainable development requires governance. Governance requires science and technology, regulation and institutions, education, education, education. Yeah. And this is, particularly education for sustainable development, is something on which Europe, the European Union, should actually invest much more. It is the basis of all what we are talking about. And we need to have, we have many projects in our organization. We have been instrumental in bringing in the Mediterranean Strategy for Education for Sustainable Development that was approved by the ministers of the Union for the Mediterranean and then the ministers of education, its action plan. We need to have much more when we come to training the trainers. Yeah. There we are very weak. Mm-hmm. We need to have much more emphasis on this incentive. The incentive is how we can make people proud. I'm talking about individuals. Making people proud, because there is an old Greek say that many people have distanced from money. Nobody has distanced from doxa, from glory. But glory in Greece has two words, glory and kleos. Doxa is what the people accept as important. So people want to have doxa. Everybody wants this. This is the reward. And we have to try to shift the reward to ethical and personal contribution and acceptance of this contribution at all levels.
Allow me to indeed take this education, education, education as one of the takeaway messages from your address. Thanks a lot for that, Professor. I think these were some fairly strong and also provocative statements, or an address which will certainly serve as a kickstarter, if not a fire starter, for our Q&A sessions.